edge analytics to me is not a new concept. So even before we had like data warehouses and data lakes and central data repository, I think we were already doing this kind of edge analytics where we were collecting the data and trying to do the analytics at the same spot. Now, with the introduction of cloud and all the advanced infrastructure that we have, we move to the central data warehouses where we have leveraged all the power of integrating the multiple data sources. And by doing that excessively, I think we have started losing the advantage of doing the analytics at the source. So I think it's really important that we strike the balance between doing the central analytics and the edge analytics. So if organizations can really think through and try to do that, maintain that balance between edge analytics and the central analytics, I think they can be more productive compared to being one of these two. So I can give like one or two examples in my current company that we are working on when it comes to the edge analytics, which we haven't started doing, but we would definitely love to do it. So we run cloud kitchens where it's really important for us to maintain the time and the quality of the food. So if we imagine, we have to take a lot of decisions real time. So we get an order in the kitchen, the commis and the chefs, they start cooking the food and they pack the food and they give it to the driver to deliver it. So in this 9 to 10 minutes, the order that lives in the kitchen, we can't expect the data to go to the central repository. We do some kind of processing and then get back to the kitchens with some kind of analytics and all of those things. Rather, edge analytics is something which plays a major role here when it comes to the real-time analytics and real-time operations or real-time decision making. So we try to do something within the kitchen in these 5-6 minutes of time where the order lives inside the kitchen. So the chef or the commis really know within a fraction of a second like what they have to do. Honestly, a lot, because cloud kitchen is a tricky business where you cook the food and you deliver the food to the customer, but the customer doesn't directly order with you. For example, customer orders with one of the food aggregators. So they have a mobile app, they order the food of their favorite restaurant through their favorite food aggregators, and the order comes to the cloud kitchen. Tricky part is the kitchen doesn't know when the customer has placed the order. It knows when it has received the order. And the kitchen doesn't know the customer's history, and the customer doesn't know the kitchen and all of those things. So all of a sudden we receive orders, we start cooking the order, and we can't even customize it to impress the customer because we don't know the customer. We just cook it in a normal way and we pack it and we give it to the customer. So one big challenge is, though we play a major role in this journey of a food order, to fulfill the customer's need, we don't own the customer. So this is one of the biggest challenges when it comes to the lack of data we have. And if I think of it from a business perspective or not from a consumer perspective, I think for any cloud kitchen, the real challenge is like, where do I set it up? Geography wise and demographic wise and the people wise and the spending appetite wise and all of those things. Second thing, even if I set up my cloud kitchen, what should be the brands inside it? What brands sell really well? And even after knowing that, we need to really study about which brands go really well within a kitchen. So we don't build one kitchen per brand, rather we have one kitchen where we host from 30 to 120 brands, depending on the size of the kitchens. So this is another challenge of knowing which geography is really good for us to set up a kitchen, such that we can deliver the food faster, and what kind of brands can we host. Third thing, so there is a third angle to this in terms of, so cloud kitchens will have only few brands which will franchise with them. What about the competition? So every minute, every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes, you should be studying your competition landscape as to how the competition is doing, how is it impacting your orders. Even though you don't own the brand completely, even though you don't own the customers completely, you should be aware of these things such that you drive the sales and you also drive the right quality and set or meet the customer's expectations or overachieve them as well. So these are few of the data challenges that even Kitopi is currently working on. Again, when it comes to Kitopi, so Kitopi is a cloud kitchen and it's a food business, and it is operationally complex. Why I'm saying it is operationally complex is because We have a couple hundred brands which have partnered with Kitopi, and Kitopi cooks food for these 200 brands. Now, when we have to cook for these 200 brands, we have close to like 45 plus cuisines, and we have to source those many ingredients as well. So our supply chain is one of the biggest operations when it comes to the whole operations. This is like half of the operations. The remaining half of the operations is the kitchen operations. Within the kitchen, how fast do we cook the food, what quality, what consistency, and then how do we deliver it to the customer. So when it comes to supply chain, knowing the right vendors, knowing the history of the vendors, all of these things, I think if we do a lot of analytics on this space, we can source the raw materials or the ingredients at the right price and the best quality of it. Second thing is, within the kitchen, how well can we cook the food? So training the commies with multiple cuisines. For example, a person, if he's trained on cooking Hawaiian food, do we train them on cooking the Italian food as well? So this kind of analytics is also important. And then the right number of people for the right number of brands and the positioning of the kitchen. So all of this is like really a complex study that we conduct. Few times we call it as R&D as well, because every kitchen is different. It's not like we did this operational study for one kitchen and we applied this for all the other kitchens. So every kitchen's shape is different, every kitchen's brand combinations are different, and all of those are different. So operational analytics is something which we almost do 80 to 85% of our time, and the remaining time is where we spend building amazing products in the back end to help the business operations. So this year, the big data trends that I would look at when it comes to Kitopi is, so this will be a continuation to the question that I answered about what are the data challenges we have. So I have answered on one thing, saying that how do we understand the competition landscape, right? So for that, every minute you need to keep an eye on how the competition is, how the landscape is, how are the brands doing. So how are the aggregators running promotion, how have the aggregators positioned you. So for example, when somebody searches for a brand and that brand belongs to Kitopi, or that brand has franchised Kitopi to cook the food, how is the positioning of it? If the aggregator is deprioritizing the position, the possibility of getting more orders is less. So I think we need to continuously keep monitoring our own position, our brand's positions, which is like a lot of streaming data. And the second set of streaming data is how is our competition doing? I think these are two real big data which has a lot of variety and also a velocity and volume, on which we will be working a lot to help the business grow faster, and also to boost the revenue, and to meet the right expectations of the customers, and also be the best in the market, right? So we should always be the best. This is what we always strive to do. So give the best offers, give the best delivery time. I mean, even by scraping the menu, or even by studying the menu of the competition, we can come up with innovative products as well. So we try to build innovative combos, we try to build innovative products within the menu. I think these are a few things which I think will be a primary focus when it comes to the big data in this year. So this session is about sharing all the challenges and the experiences that I have faced during the recent times when we have worked on bringing the data from diversified sources into our central data repository. And this data is not just from the diversified sources, but diversified in nature and diversified in its data format as well. I'm excited to be speaking at the Velocity Data Analytics Summit, which is happening on 17th and 18th of May this year, 2022, in person at Conrad, Dubai.